Greetings and welcome to the 100 subscriber special for my YouTube channel. When I started taking this whole content creator thing somewhat seriously as a hobby to practice my speaking and video editing skills, I had no idea I would eventually do well enough for triple-digit subscribers, so thank you, dear viewer. Here's to the next 100 subscribers in the future, maybe as a goal for 2025, we'll see. But again, thank you guys so much and enjoy the new content. So background gameplay is from the current DMZ mode, and I'll have to thank Krabby Ninja Gamer 9 and Toby for the games, so go subscribe to them. Links to their channels will be in the description. Now, on to the recent leaks. Infinity Ward is bringing back DMZ for their next game in the fall of 2026. This game is presumably Modern Warfare Roman numeral 4, which will be much easier to refer to in casual conversation due to there being no fourth entry in the classic Modern Warfare series. But in the current COD era, where nostalgia sells more than anything, it was only a matter of time before we saw the next Modern Warfare game coming from what apparently is the COD community's least favorite studio, Infinity Ward. Now, Infinity Ward loves milsim autism stuff like Arma and Insurgency, and have been designing their games to be closer to realism as opposed to arcade-style game design like Treyarch and Sledgehammer. I think this more realistic style suited a mode like DMZ, but not so much the 6v6 multiplayer. More importantly, however, is the game modes that Infinity Ward are choosing to include in MW4, namely the reports of them bringing back DMZ mode. Now, I think we can all agree that Infinity Ward spread themselves far too thin with the amount of supported game modes for Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2. You had campaign, 6v6 multiplayer, 2v2 gunfight, large map modes like Ground War and Invasion, Spec Ops mode, Raid mode, Warzone 2.0, which flopped, and finally DMZ. Guys, that's 8 game modes for a one-year COD game. It's no wonder it turned out the way it did. Infinity Ward settled for quantity over quality, which is why MW4 needs to focus on like half the amount of modes. Here's my suggestion. Focus on 4 core modes. Quality over quantity, campaign, 6v6 multiplayer, Ground War, and DMZ. I know there's literally one person out there saying, but what about Spec Ops? Bro, it's time to let go. If you want to play Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops / Raid mode right now, that's 43 gigabytes of content that less than 5% of players on Steam even attempted to play once. It's a waste. People like zombies better, and Infinity Ward is dead set on never doing zombies ever since Infinite Warfare failed to meet sales expectations in 2016. That, of course, leaves a void for some kind of PvE content aside from campaign to appear in MW4. But what if I told you that DMZ could be the co-op experience for MW4? From what we know, the Ghost of Hope on Twitter leaked the following details about the next DMZ mode. It will have its own maps and dedicated forked version of Warzone's engine. It will share a map set with Ground War instead of with BR. And Infinity Ward is currently debating whether to make it PvE or PvPvE or both. Now, that's a big decision to make for Infinity Ward. It will influence the game design heavily no matter what direction they go in. But I believe with only focusing on 4 modes and leaving the BR stuff to Ravensoft, which this leak appears to be implying, there's no reason not to have both PvPvE like the original version of DMZ and a purely PvE co-op experience that has a more emphasis on casual play. I mean, let's face it, COD is sweaty as hell these days with the average skill level of guys playing FPSs, along with the engagement-based matchmaking algorithm that makes sure that you have matches that are mostly competitive and easy lobby once in a while to keep you hooked. Modern Warfare Zombies last year and round-based zombies this year are getting, at one point in time, the most player engagement these co-op based modes have ever had in COD history due to their innate nature of being modes where you can just go in, chill out, turn your brain off, and level up your weapons. I believe a PvE version of DMZ in MW4 could also fulfill that role, but Infinity Ward needs to make some purposeful design decisions to make both versions worth playing. For example, there would need to be some incentive to play the PvPvE mode outside of running into other players for their loot. I suggest some missions, not all, but some, with unique and powerful rewards that are exclusive to this version of DMZ. As for the supposed PvE version, more varied content is needed than what was provided with Modern Warfare Zombies. If they want this to be a mode that is persistent and gets updated over time like Warzone, they need to provide new content on a consistent basis that makes the game interesting to log in and play on a regular basis, right? Also, let me queue up for a PvE game solo. Don't do what Modern Warfare Zombies did, having required 23 other jackasses to be playing at the same time in order for me to do missions solo. Let me at least start a PvE match by myself and give a minute for people to join if possible, like how Warframe does it. However, it would suck, but I could very well see this mode ending up as a paid mode within MW4 as opposed to being free like the original DMZ. In that case, expect a solid year of support and then literally nothing afterwards. Regardless, discussion around the engine and movement systems is also interesting. That could mean that Warzone really is becoming its own game as opposed to integrating with the given COD release that year. And with that, it really is time to drop the COD launcher thing and just start releasing the games as separate applications again. Trust me, nobody likes this crap, and it looks confusing as fuck from a UI design perspective. So yeah, that's my feedback on DMZ. There is also new Battlefield news recently, namely the gameplay reveal of the next Battlefield game being tested with a new EA program called Battlefield Labs. Essentially, it's a return of the community test server from Battlefield 4, but used pre-release in particular for this next Battlefield game, which appears to be setting-wise closer to Battlefield 3 and 4. I think the overall sentiment in the community is that returning to this setting is what the franchise needs right now after 2042 fell flat on its face at launch. They need something that's as safe as possible with community sentiment, and that is another Modern Warfare era Battlefield game. DICE is saying all the right things right now. Class-specific gameplay with the 4 core classes, no specialists, placing an emphasis on quality control, etc. Portal mode will be returning, and I hope its main purpose this time is around player-hosted servers. Having to make servers hosted on a console or PC that needs to be actively running the game, renting space on EA's server, not really your own, was not what the community wanted. With that in mind, I say keep expectations in check and wait until the game is in your hands. Either the beta or the inevitable free-to-play battle royale mode before buying. Alright, that's going to wrap up this video. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below. What should Infinity Ward do with the revival of DMZ mode, as well as your thoughts on Battlefield. Also, hit that notification bell for more Jimmy content.